right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Granby Planning and Zoning meeting for March the 11th. You want to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll do a check-in for the commission. Any alternates? My name is Mark Lockwood, the commission chair. Starting to my right.
Eric Lukingbeil, member.
Christine Cheney, member.
Dirk Myers, Vice Chair.
Paula Johnson, alternate.
Steve Muller, member.
Brennan Shahan, member.
Commissioner Lavitt is absent today, so Paula will be sitting in. Hello, Paula. Next on the agenda is public session. If anyone would like to speak to the commission about an item not on the agenda or subject to a public hearing, please come forward. Anybody on Zoom? See anyone? Okay.
Oh, wait, leave it.
Okay. Let's see, Maureen, please just introduce yourself for the record and let us know what you'd like to speak about.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I would like to know if it would be appropriate at this time to, and I'm making an assumption and going out on a limb, the proposed changes as they appeared in the January and February packet. I just don't know if it would be entertained at this time, but I have some concerns on those.
Yeah, we will be having a public hearing on that. It's on our agenda today. Most likely, I would anticipate it'll be our next meeting, latest the meeting thereafter. We'll have a public hearing on all of those changes, and it'll be in the meeting packet. So probably the next meeting when we have the public hearing will be the time to go through those.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anyone else for public session? Okay, seeing none, we will close public session. Next is action on the meeting minutes from February the 11th. I was not here, but did take a look at the tape in them, and they seem good, but I'll take any comments, or if not, a motion.
So moved. Approve the minutes.
Second. A motion is second to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? I will abstain. Minutes pass. Next on the agenda is a public hearing for a special permit for property at Salmonbrook Street. Commissioner Myers, could you please read the call to the hearing?
There will be a public hearing conducted by the P&Z on Tuesday, March 11, 2025, at 7 p.m. in the Granby Town Hall Meeting Room, 15 North Granby Road, to hear and consider the following item. Application seeking a special permit under zoning regulation 8, section 3.8.2.10 for a dance studio for property located at 508 Salmonbrook Street, I-zone file Z-2-25. At the hearing, interested persons may appear and written communications will be received. Copies of the proposals are on file in the Community Development Office.
Is the applicant or the representative here?
I am the dance studio, not property.
No, it's right.
So,
Just come here and please introduce yourself for the
my
record.
name is Tiffany Jack here, and I'm actually a resident of 68 Will Palmer Road in Southwick, but my business address is actually 514R Salmonbrook Street, not 508.
Okay. All right. And just for the record, the property owner knows you're here and.
He does, he's supposed to be present today.
We have sign
And I
off?
did receive a letter for the file, yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. no
Why
problem.
don't you, we have some information in the packet, but can you explain for the commission and those in attendance and on TV here that just what you're looking to do and
Sure,
explain the
absolutely.
permit.
In 2022, in July, I signed my lease to open a dance studio. We opened as of September 2022 in only half of the building space at 514R. The other half was being used for storage by my landlord, Brian Guarco. And so there was 2 rooms already set up We made them into dance rooms instead of manufacturing space, as a lot of dance studios do. And then from 2002 to 2003, we had a great year. We ended up with like 125 dancers, which grew tremendously, well above. And so with that notice, Brian took into consideration clearing out his other half of his building. And in the summer of 2024, he said, we can negotiate a lease, including the other side, so that it would be the entire building of 514R instead of just half. And so at that point, we went ahead and did it from July, and we opened the new side in September. Hey, Brian.
And just to go through what type of this, go through this.
So we have dance classes for anybody from 18 months old with a parent-child class all the way up to adults. We do classes Monday through Friday, but only during the school season, so September to June. And then following in the summer, we have a shortened schedule of classes in the evenings. We do daytime events and things like that for the kids during the summer. And then we also do intensive weeks for the more competitive. I do have a competitive team that has 34 dancers on it at the moment. So the new side that we opened was more for their training experience. And then I have the recreational side. So we pretty much just encompass anybody and everybody who loves to dance in the community. And we do have about 100 Granby, West Granby, North Granby residents that are in attendance.
And then you said Monday to Friday, which is approximately the morning? Is it?
So from September to June, I do Wednesday morning classes from 9:30 to 10:45. Friday, same thing, 9:40 to 10:45. Saturday, we do the same thing, 9:40 to 10:45. And then during the week, it's Monday through Friday, like 4 to 9, maybe the latest that my team will be there one day a week. So generally speaking, we're not there traditional business hours.
And all the building changes and things have already been done?
They've already been completed, but we still need to go talk to Joel about some
Building
items.
inspector,
Yep.
Do you want to, Brian, do you have something
Yeah.
to?
Yeah.
Just here, my name's Brian Gorton, I'm the owner of the building.
Abby, before we get the staff comments, I saw that the parking, is there any concerns for the industrial zone? Are they applicant meeting the?
Yes, yeah, there is a parking lot, and I tried to show it on the aerial.
Yep.
There's one immediately adjacent to the dance studio, and then some additional spaces off the driveway that provides access between the front building and the dance studio, so there are enough parking spaces to comply with this use for the recreational use.
Any other comments or concerns from staff?
Nope, just if the commission approves the application, as the applicant indicated, they'll have to work with our fire marshal and building official on permitting through them for the expanded space. There are no additional exterior changes to the site to accommodate the use, so no concerns from there. And it seems like based on what has been described tonight and in the application materials, it does comply with section 8.2 when it comes to suitable location, structure, neighborhood compatibility, and parking and access. So I just want to point that out.
This is all in the industrial zone.
Yes, yep.
Anything else before I ask commissioner questions? Or?
The only question and concern that I know that we received email communication about from an abutter is that the technical zoning changes for 508, and I don't necessarily want to mess up your 508. I don't know why 514 never got separated.
So if I can clarify on that, so the property address that we recognize in the town files is 508 Salmonbrook Street. The outline is shown in your packet. It includes the car storage facility closer to Salmonbrook Street, the self-storage facility to the rear, and then the dance studio. There is a different mailing address that is 514R. 514R used to be part of 514 in the front, and then there was a lot line revision when the self-storage and the car storage building were approved. So there has been changes to the lot lines. Just want to clarify that.
So the lot line we see in our packet which has the car storage, the self-storage, and the dance studio. That's all part on the town's records of 508. Postal Service is delivering, they're recognizing 514. But
Correct,
For
and
this
that's-
purpose, it's 508.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. So,
Yes, the original building was built in 1975. I worked in the building when it was built. There was an addition put on in the early 80s, which is the area that they took over recently.
Don't get the microphone.
I'm sorry. The original building was,
that's okay, it doesn't amplify here, you just have to speak louder for us.
the original building was built in 1975, because I remember working in it when it was built. And the addition on the building was built in the early 80s, which is the area that they've taken over recently.
Does the commission have questions? Start with Eric?
No, I don't have any questions.
No questions, just an observation. It seems like it's in the industrial area. It's hidden in the back there, and it doesn't seem like it's causing any use. If I might offer a recommendation, you were generous to put your hours of operation in your explanation. It's always best, because things are fluid with hours of operation. Would you have any objections if somebody on this commission was to suggest longer hours of operation just to cover your bases?
I wouldn't, no. I just don't ever want to put them on my door and have somebody show up and be like, well, you're open,
No.
technically.
But if, for example, you
Yeah.
decided that your afternoon classes wanted to start at 3:30 instead of 4, if I wrote 4 in here, you have to stick to that. You
Okay.
have to come back and pay
Yeah.
another.
Then I can open up my hours. I just didn't know what that pertained to.
I
so-
might propose your hours could be 8 to 10, 7 days a week.
Okay.
Yeah, just that would, I mean, it seems like the business has been successful, and if you continue to grow it, we'd hate to have you come back
Okay.
just to get your hours adjusted.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Might also ask, sometimes in the industrial zone, I don't know if all the businesses have hours because it is an industrial zone. So we might, as long as you're okay not being boxed into that, the commission might have that discussion.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry. Sorry, Mr. Myers.
Nope, I'm set.
I have no questions. I think it's a wonderful business.
It's great.
For town, wonderful.
I don't have any questions.
No, yes, good.
Perfect, thank you.
I will also state that you mentioned that, record, we did receive, staff did receive a letter from a butter. I believe a lot of the concerns from the abutter, Abby, are dealing with other use on that lot and not pertaining specifically to the studio.
That's correct.
And if I believe, and maybe you can just clarify, that the other properties on this, the building official, zoning enforcement officer are working with property owner
Yes, that's
to
correct.
address any special permits or buffers and.
Yes, so as part of the special permit approval for the car storage facility and perhaps the self-storage too, there was a requirement for additional landscaping and a berm to the rear, which has not been completed yet. So we'll be working with the property owner on that to make sure that all the site work is completed.
Does any of that extend to the dance studio area or no?
No,
Okay.
So that issue is really not before us.
correct. It's tied to the special permits for the other uses.
I think, so I know the person that emailed because she's actually, her daughters both dance at the studio. And so she approached me and was just concerned that the special permit would grant assembly to all of the buildings on that property. That's all she was concerned about.
So specific to this,
Yeah. She just wanted to make sure that I was the one, my building was the one that had the special permit
correct.
versus changing anything else.
You couldn't go into the car storage and start.
Exactly, like, same deal. So,
Anything else before we open up the hearing? We'll have you come back at the end if you have anything else to say. but-
Great, thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'll open up to a public hearing. If anyone would like to speak about this application, please come forward or raise your hand on Zoom. See anybody? Nobody on Zoom? Anyone else, public hearing? Anything else from the applicant? Or good? Anything else from the commission?
Nope.
No.
Not seeing anyone else Any comments? We're going to close the public hearing. The commission has up to 65 days to make its decision. However, we'll be considering the application later on in the agenda. Thank you very much. Okay, next on the agenda is item 7, receive applications and schedule public hearings. We have one item, which is what we heard in public session, but it's the application for amendments to the zoning regulations. Stating the agenda, sections 1.1, 3.1, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, 3.8, 3.9, 3.12, 4.2, 5.1, 8.9, 8.13, 8.17.17, and 8.23. And it's to remove references to zones that are no longer applicable, correct cross-references, remove nonprofits as a use, correct and add numbering, encourage planting of native species, address site plan requirements, and allow simplified site plans and other minor corrections. Abby, has this been sent to CROG?
Yes, it has been referred to CROG, the abutting municipalities, and also posted with the town clerk.
Have we heard back from CROG yet?
No.
It was sent within the 30?
Yes, yep.
We've had this discussion, and Abby, thank you again for all your work on this, and the commission spent a lot of time. I know you finalized it at the last meeting. I think we can have the hearing at the next meeting in March. Does that work for everybody? Sure.
Yeah, there's no issue with CROG holding it down.
Not that we know of.
We don't have anything else that we know of on that agenda.
Correct.
Yeah, right? So,
I know members of the public have asked, we had a session, so if we do that, it's March 24th?
25th.
So if there's no objection, we'll set the hearing for the regulations on March 25th. We'll have a public hearing at that time, and anybody that has comments can send them into Abby ahead of time as well. All right, item number 8, consideration of applications where the commission has concluded the public hearing. We just concluded the hearing for the special permit for the dance studio. Again, I think it's a good fit. It's been used quite a bit, or that's been the current use, and some expansion. I think Commissioner Myers had a good point on the hours.
So just to commentary, you had said that there are no general hours in the industrial zone, so do we need to establish hours, or do we pass?
I don't know, Abby, do we have hours on other, maybe the restaurant?
The restaurants, yes. For the arcade, that was a commercial recreational. Did that have hours? That's the only comparable one, and I can't remember if that.
It's hours of operation were a controversy, I just can't remember if it's established hours.
I feel like there was one of the things that, one of the ways it actually came to our attention that the arcade was there
Oh.
was that some people had expressed concerns about.
I think we said that with the arcade.
Yeah. So if we set them, any objection to 8 to 10, 7 days a week?
Not at all.
No, that's good. It's fine.
Seems to cover the bases.
Yeah, we've said many times, we like to see successful businesses. This one seems to be doing well, so.
Yeah, that's good.
And if I heard one other thing for discussion from Abby, the application would be, of course, contingent upon fire marshal and building department sign off. Is that what I heard, Abby? Any other information?
I
all
don't think,
sounds
I think they don't have to reference that in the permit, that goes without.
Okay. Then I won't.
Abby, is there anything we are okay to reference it still as 508?
Yes, because that is the property. If you want to specify mailing address as 514R, that's fine as well. But
keep 508.
keep 508, yes.
Is the other buildings on that property don't have 514R?
No.
So that would just clarify it's for that building. You mind?
So what do you want me to do?
The property at 508 Salmon Brook Street with a mailing address of 514R. Anything else?
No.
No.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the application seeking a special permit under zoning regulations, section 3.8.2.10 for a dance studio located at 508 Salmon Brook Street with a mailing address of 514R. Allowed hours of operation will be 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to the motion is read. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Good luck. Okay, next on the agenda is staff report and correspondence. Abby, anything?
So a few quick updates. BFJ continues work on the Granby Center master plan. There was going to be a public workshop on April 3rd. That has been pushed until May 15th. So it'll be at May 15th at 7 PM in the senior center. And we'll be sure to post notice of that, and spread the word. The town is appealing the siting council's decision for approval of the battery energy storage system down at 100 Samenbrook Street. And I believe there was a press conference today at the Capitol building, so there's a push for a moratorium on the approval of such facilities until some guidelines are implemented. That's all I have.
And there was a very lengthy and I thought good article in Sunday's Current describing what has happened on that property right along. If you read that, you'll be up to speed.
Oh, that's great.
Great.
Thanks for the tip.
Thank you.
I didn't know about that.
And I did mention to our first selectman, if he does need any input from the zoning board on our concerns to our regulations, that I would provide that to him unless this commission had an objection to that.
Not at all.
I think we're in consensus that we're supportive of the appeals because we have concerns about the aquifer protection and our general special permit criteria.
Well, it also did seem like there were some issues with the way the decision was.
Yes.
made.
Yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
Anything from the commission?
Just had one question. Is there anything going on at High Roads? I mean, just today, the sign was down and there was a big truck there. But then when I came here tonight, the sign was back. So did it just get hit by a tree or something and they came to put the sign back up?
What road, Chris?
High Roads, the camp in North Granby.
Oh,
High Meadow.
I know.
High Roads is a school, sorry. Yeah, High Meadow.
No, I haven't heard anything.
Obviously, if it changed hands, that would have come before us.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, because it seems strange.
Yeah.
There was a sign was down, there was a big truck there, and then 3 hours later, when I drove to come to the meeting, oh, the sign's back.
Well, every year at around this time, they do fiddle with the sign. It's not up all winter. They put it back up.
That's the answer.
Yeah, they don't want it to get wrecked by the bad weather in the winter. So they just take it down and
Well,
they put it back
Everybody's
up.
had so many trees down lately anyway.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay, thanks for that. That's all I have.
All right, if there's nothing else, so the next meeting will be the 25th?
Yep.
All right, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
The motion is second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, we are adjourned.